My son, my daughter, today I want you to stop everything. I want you to silence the voices of the world for a moment, the noise of doubt, the cries of anxiety, even the silent accusations your own heart has raised against you. I want you to hear only my voice. I, the Lord, am here now, and I have something to tell you, something you don't often hear, but it's true. I am proud of you. Yes, I see what no one else sees. I see you when you hold your tongue to avoid hurting someone, even when you're completely right. I see you when you get out of bed without strength, when no one applauds you, no one acknowledges you, no one even notices. But I do. I see you when you choose to forgive someone who hurt you deeply, even though you never received an apology. I see you when you fight your own impulses, when you wage internal wars only I understand. And do you know why I'm proud of you? Because even in the face of failure, hidden tears, crises, temptations, emotional plagues, and curses launched against your mind, you keep going, you persist, you grow. You are not who you once were. You're not yet where you want to be, but you're far from where you started. And that is growth, that is progress, that is resilience, that is faith in action. It's resistance to conformity, it's healing in process, it's transformation revealing itself. I see your path. You think you've been going in circles, but I tell you, you've been climbing a mountain. It may feel repetitive, but with every turn, you're higher, you're closer, you're stronger. Have you ever watched a tree grow? It begins as a tiny seed, buried, forgotten, hidden in the dark soil. It may stay there for days, even months, completely invisible. No one sees what's happening underground, but one day it breaks through the earth. One day it breaks the barrier, and even though it's still fragile and small, it becomes visible. People only notice it once it sprouts, but I saw it from the seed, and it's the same with you. There are things in you no one has seen, but I have. There are battles no one knew about, but I was in everyone, and still you keep trying. You are sprouting, you are growing, you have evolved. Yes, I saw when you chose to stop feeding yourself emotional garbage. I saw when you cut toxic relationships, even though your heart hurt. I saw when you stopped responding to provocations. I saw when you chose to seek me instead of just distractions. I saw when you chose to be silent when everything in you screamed for justice. That is growth, that is faith, that is surrender. You think you're walking slowly, but I see you winning a marathon. Those who run with their feet are applauded by men, but those who run with their hearts are sustained by me. You've been through storms, deserts, hopeless nights, difficult people, dark diagnoses, sicknesses of the body and soul. You've faced guilt, shame, loneliness, the fear of not being enough, and yet you're still standing. Do you know what that means? It means you're overcoming. Don't compare yourself to others. The measuring stick they use doesn't work for you because I have a unique plan for your life. They see what's on the outside. I see what's inside. They measure by results. I rejoice in your efforts. They point out your flaws. I celebrate your new beginnings. They mock your failures. I collect your tears. Don't despise how far you've come just because you're not yet where you want to be. The butterfly doesn't despise the cocoon because that's where it was transformed. The man who walks again had to first accept being carried. The one who was healed first had to admit they were sick. There's a process before the promise. There's a war before the victory. There are tears before the comfort. There's a cross before the resurrection. You've made different decisions. Even when you were wrong, you repented. Even in tribulation, you sought me. Even in battle, you worshipped. I see that. I value that. You are precious to me. Don't look at yourself through the eyes of condemnation. Look through the eyes of purpose. I am doing something deep and eternal inside you. Something human eyes can't perceive, but the spiritual world already recognizes. That's why hell feels uneasy with you. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're dangerous to darkness, dangerous to the curses that used to follow you. You are the one I raised up to break cycles, to rewrite stories. You think you're small, but you've been a bridge for others. The words you speak, the advice you give, the peace you carry, all of it is being used by me. You have no idea how many people you've blessed without knowing it. There are people alive today because you were the answer. There are lives restored because you prayed. There are those who returned to my path because you didn't give up, and even if no one else acknowledges it, I do. I, the Lord, walk with you. I know your entire story, not just the most beautiful chapters, but also the ones you'd rather erase. I've seen your days of confusion, your dark thoughts, your hidden desires. I've seen your internal prisons, your emotional walls, your existential crises, but I've also seen how much you've called on me. I saw the dawns where you cried in silence. I saw the times you almost gave up completely, but didn't. You are growing. You are becoming someone even you never imagined you could be, because I am shaping you. Like the potter molds the clay, yes, it hurts, and sometimes it feels like it will break, but that's how the process works. The clay must be kneaded to take shape. But I, the potter, never abandon the clay halfway. I finish what I start, and what I am doing in you is my work. It's not just an external change, it's a transformation of the spirit, it's a rebuilding of the soul. Keep going, don't stop now. What is coming is greater than everything that has already passed. The promises I made to you have not been cancelled. The plans I have are still firm. You will see it. What seemed buried will bloom. What seemed forgotten will rise again. What was broken will be restored, because I am the God who turns mourning into dancing, shame into honor, ruins into temples. You are my son, you are my daughter. And today I tell you with all my love, with all my authority, I am proud of you, because even with fear you continue, even wounded you love, even without strength you pray, even in pain you trust. That brings me joy, that honors me, and that moves me to keep working in you and for you. You are evolving. Yes, don't let the enemy steal that from your heart. Don't accept the accusations trying to erase your progress. Don't bow down to the traumas of the past. Don't settle in the survival zone. You were born to overcome, not just to endure. You were born to break through, not just to resist. You were born to live, not just to exist. Today I embrace you with the strength of the one who never gave up on you, and I whisper to your heart, keep going, because you will still live to see what I promised you. I see how you've been carrying questions that don't have quick answers. You've been walking through days where clarity seems like a distant light, and still you don't quit. That endurance, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's what warriors look like in my kingdom. You've stopped chasing what once promised satisfaction but only left you empty. That's not loss, that's maturity. That's your spirit awakening to real substance. You are learning the difference between being fed and being fulfilled. I've noticed how you no longer crave applause like you used to. You've started doing things quietly, just for me, just because it's right. That shift may not look dramatic, but it changes everything in eternity. You're learning to sit in my presence without demanding an answer. That silence you've grown to respect. It's the place where trust grows. It's the soil where intimacy with me deepens. You've been praying differently, not just for solutions, but for strength. Not just for open doors, but for discernment. That kind of prayer is powerful. It doesn't shake the earth, it shapes it. I've seen the moments when you could have lashed out in pain, but chose kindness instead. You didn't just avoid sin, you embraced mercy. That's how my heart beats. That's what it means to reflect me. You've started setting boundaries, not out of pride, but out of wisdom. You're learning that loving others doesn't mean losing yourself. You're learning that peace isn't maintained by pleasing people. It's guarded by truth. And those moments you feel lonely, they matter. Not because you're isolated, but because they make room for me. You've made space for my voice to grow louder than the noise around you. You've stopped looking for shortcuts, and that matters. You've chosen to walk the long way when it's the right way. That's how character is formed. That's how my image takes root in you. Even when your emotions don't agree with your decisions, you choose what honors me. That's spiritual maturity. That's dying to self, even when no one else sees the funeral. You're not just surviving anymore. You're choosing what kind of person you want to become. You're living from the inside out, and that kind of living leaves a legacy. You've started confronting what you used to avoid. Fear doesn't paralyze you the same way. You may still feel it, but now you walk through it. And that's courage, not the absence of fear, but the refusal to serve it. I've watched you turn your pain into intercession. You've stopped merely asking, why me, and started asking, who can I lift with this? That is the heart of my son growing in you. When you confess your weaknesses to me, I don't withdraw, I draw closer. Every honest word you whisper in brokenness opens a deeper channel between us. You've begun to hunger for substance, not noise. You've stopped feeding your spirit with fluff. You want what's real, what lasts, what carries weight, and that hunger will be satisfied. I'm not forming a version of you that fits in. I'm forming a version of you that stands out, not by arrogance, but by presence, the kind of presence that shifts atmospheres just by showing up with me inside you. You are not invisible to me. The world may overlook your sacrifices, but heaven records them with precision. Your tears have timestamps in my memory. Your private victories are celebrated by angels. The way you now speak life instead of despair, it plants seeds in places you can't even see. Your words carry weight because they come from a heart that's been refined by fire. You've learned to wait, actively, not passively. You no longer wait with bitterness, but with hope. That posture is a fragrance to me. That patience is not silence, it's trust in motion. And when you serve others, even while your own needs feel unmet, I notice that. That's kingdom greatness, washing feet with empty hands, believing I will fill them again. You're starting to discern what is urgent from what is important. You're learning to protect your peace instead of proving your point. That's growth the world can't measure, but heaven can. I've seen how you carry responsibilities that no one applauds, but I also see how you carry them with reverence. You treat your tasks not as burdens, but as assignments, and that honors me. You've given up trying to fix everyone. You've started simply being present, praying more than pushing. That shift brings healing that words never could. You no longer just react, you respond. That means your spirit is leading more than your emotions. That kind of leadership begins in the secret place where you've been consistent. Even when you struggle with doubt, you haven't let it rule you. You've brought your questions to me, not the crowd. That shows where your heart is anchored. You've stopped needing instant results to keep going. That perseverance, quiet, often unseen, is one of your greatest victories. When you apologize without being asked, when you initiate peace, when you take responsibility, you're demonstrating the character of my son. You've started loving people where they are, not where you wish they were. That kind of love is rare. That kind of love looks like me. I've seen how you now ask me for wisdom before making decisions. That's a shift from reaction to revelation. That's how my spirit leads. You don't despise correction like before. You're learning that discipline is not rejection, it's refinement. You now see my hand in it, and that means you're learning to trust me even in discomfort. You are not just a believer, you are becoming a vessel, a carrier of my presence, a resting place for my voice. That is sacred, and I don't take it lightly. Your influence is not in your title, but in your obedience. You are beginning to influence not by volume, but by consistency. You are shaping lives just by being faithful. I've noticed how you protect your time with me. You've stopped fitting me into your day and started building your day around me. That shift is shaping your destiny. You've given me access to the rooms in your heart you used to keep locked. That invitation, silent but sincere, is where the deepest healing begins. You've stopped asking me to make life easier. Now you ask me to make you stronger. That prayer is shaking hell. You are no longer motivated by fear of failure. You are moved by the desire to be faithful. That change is why your joy is becoming more constant. When you celebrate others without envy, when you bless them even when you feel forgotten, that is love purified. You're becoming someone who carries peace into storms, not because the storm is over, but because you've learned to trust me in the middle of it. You've started to forgive yourself. That's a sign you're starting to believe what I've been saying about you all along. You are starting to build a future, not just run from your past. You are dreaming again, not out of fantasy, but out of faith. You've stopped waiting to feel ready. You've started walking even with trembling legs. That obedience will lead you to places comfort never could.